What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to the channel.
Yo.
So, Nick, Khamzat Chimaev has his next fight lined up. It is not going to be an MMA fight inside of the UFC cage, but an exciting one nonetheless. He is going to be wrestling Jack Hermansson at Bulldog Fight Night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a catch wrestling match between him and Hermansson. And this is interesting for me for a couple of reasons. One, because we've seen Chimaev's real dominance with grappling inside of the UFC's Octagon. We've also seen Jack Hermansson with some great submissions, heel hooking Kelvin Gastelum. He's a lot to handle in the grappling realm as well. But what really makes this interesting for me is whenever you see these kind of interesting one-offs, whether it's a gi jiu-jitsu match between this person and that person, or it's a boxing match with one of the Paul bros, it's always a fight that couldn't really materialize inside of the UFC's Octagon, so they figure out a creative rule set to make it happen either way. This is a fight that actually very much could happen inside the UFC's Octagon. Jack Hermansson sits squarely in the top 5 of the middleweight division, and we've already heard that Khamzat Chimaev has designs on dominating both 170 and 185. So this is cool. This might be a preview, if you will, for a fight that may materialize into an MMA fight down the road.
Yeah, I don't know if this is getting enough coverage. I think that a lot of people need to tune into this fight because these guys are very similar in one specific way, and it's the intensity that they fight with. Jack Hermansson's an intense guy, and if you watch Khamzat, you know he's an intense character. Like, whenever he walks into the cage, there's just like a presence. But Jack Hermansson kind of has that too. Like, he's not there to play games. He's there to get a hold of. We always say, he seems like the kind of guy that would be a nightmare to train with, be a sparring partner with, because he probably doesn't go very easy on you. And I bet Chimaev is pretty much the exact same. So I really do like the fact that they're doing this, and it's going to be a different style, a different rule set. It's not traditional jiu-jitsu. It's not submission grappling. It's something that they're both really familiar with, which is the wrestling world. And that could be a sort of like a early preview to what we could see if this fight happens in the UFC, which I personally think it will happen. And especially if they give a good performance but in this wrestling match, we could see a lot of like hype around that matchup. Go, okay, we saw this. Now we want to see the real thing. We want to see what you guys do when there's no rule set holding you back from doing anything that you like to do. Mixed martial arts is the most free form of fighting that there is, and both of these guys likes to mix it up really, really well. So, man, I can't wait for this one. I don't know what time it's happening because I know it's happening over in Europe, but whatever time it is, if I have to wake up early or stay up late, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I do not have that information for you right now, but I will find out because there's no way I'm going to miss this one. This is going to be, it's not one that I want to watch the highlights later. I want to watch this happen live.
Me too.
I feel like the intensity in the room is going to be unmatched. I mean, and the thing is that Jack Hermansson started wrestling at age 9, and he became the national champion in Greco-Roman wrestling. So, you know, we've seen him with some good submissions and stuff like that, but make no mistake, he's a high-level, world-class wrestler, as is Khamzat Chimaev. And like you said, it's going to be the two of them in their disciplines that got them started in mixed martial arts to begin with. Yeah. And so I think that's very cool when you get two guys, you know, like Cody Garbrandt, for example, and maybe another guy that started in the Golden Gloves ranks. So you could, maybe Rob Font even. Yeah. You see the two of them box inside of a boxing ring in a 10-round setting. Okay, that's fun. These two guys, or you have like Gilbert Burns and Damian Maia do a gi jiu-jitsu match. I'd love to see it. This is two guys that have their foundation in wrestling that are going to wrestle, and it also could allude to something coming down the line. As far as predictions go, I have no idea. I've never seen either one of these guys do pure wrestling. Khamzat's on such a tear right now. He seems like he's a world beater, and I think confidence has a lot to do with performance sometimes, and I think maybe that'll give him a slight edge. But Jack Hermansson is a pretty big guy, man. He is a large fella, and he's very strong, and he's a lot to deal with. So I guess I'll pick Khamzat Chimaev to win just because he's got a lot of momentum, and he seems to be operating full throttle right now. But, man, it's going to be a good wrestling match.
Yeah, Khamzat's fresh as a daisy. We know he loves quick turnarounds, and even if it's not happening in the UFC's Octagon, it is still a competitive match, and he likes that kind of stuff. I think that the youth is what's going to help him. Wrestling is a sport for young people. You don't see many adults signing up for wrestling class and
No.
Quite frankly, there's no wrestling gyms in the country, right? There's jiu-jitsu gyms and grappling gyms that have wrestling classes, and then there's high school gyms.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty much where you learn your wrestling. And if you didn't start in middle school or high school, you're likely never going to enter into wrestling. So I think that the younger body is going to have the slight advantage. I think Khamzat's a little faster. I think that he gives up a little bit of size against Hermansson, but not that much. And I would like to see, I can't wait to see like the tail of the tape and them stand next to each other to see the comparison, because Khamzat seems really big for 170 and he seems like the perfect size for 185. Jack seems like a full-bodied 185er, right?
Yeah.
So I'd like to see when they stand next to each other just how different they look or how similar they might look. And as far as my prediction, I guess, I've never really been a wrestling connoisseur. I don't know that much about it. I don't know the ins and outs and all the terminology. So I'm going to go with Khamzat just because he's fresh. Everybody's, gung-ho about Khamzat Chimaev right now, and I think the youthfulness and the speed is going to play to his advantage. But you can't really talk about the intensity being way over on one person or the other, because I think both of these guys come with a crazy intensity, and they are going to be fighting in this smaller promotion for a wrestling match, just like they would fight if they were fighting for a UFC world title.
Yeah, and if you thought wrestling was boring, you probably want to watch this match, because you hit the word of the day is intensity, and both of these guys, they have it in spades.
Yes.
Every bit of intensity Khamzat's bringing to this, Jack Hermansson will bring to it as well, and he is a tough fella. So yeah, I'm going to go Khamzat, and I think this is really cool because this could be a taste of things to come. Just please don't tear an ACL in this wrestling match or do something that's going to sideline Khamzat again for another year.
No.
That would be a disaster. That would take a good thing and make it a very bad thing. So hopefully both these guys can put on a great show and get out of there without getting injured, because I think it's going to set up for a potential great fight down the line in MMA.
Yeah, we got to see these two fight in actual MMA bout. And then I think Khamzat's looking to have a quick return soon. I'd love to see Jack Hermansson back in the Octagon again soon. So best wishes for them. Hopefully they get out of this unscathed. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty respectful towards each other, and we'll let the best man win, and then we'll move on back to the world of MMA.
That's for sure, and topic for another video, but Jorge Masvidal is out against Leon Edwards, and Khamzat has already called him out. So maybe we'll see a turnaround in December.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to take that or not.
For sure. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Drop us a comment and let us know if you're going to be watching this wrestling match and who you think is going to win. We always love chatting with you guys in the comments. And if you haven't checked us out on audio already, Nick and I also do the versions of these for where you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, you name it. You can find us there for the audio version of the Barnhill Brothers. And until the next video, guys, have a wonderful day.
Peace.